Hey, everybody. On this episode of Samp&Chance Wrestling, we are going to get into Monday Night Raw. We're going to get into a little bit of AEW as well. Dynamite. Guys, Rhea Ripley relinquishing her title last night. Plus, rumors have it Linda McMahon might be making a return to the fold. Are we looking at a civil war possibly in the WWE? All this and so much more on this episode of Samp&Chance. So, guys, strap in and thank you for letting us into your year. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance Wrestling. I am your host, Bobby Sampson, joined as always, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance, Michael's Chance. How are you, man? That's a colorful shirt. What do we have today?
I just the Muay Thai shirt, my kickboxing coach got me a few years back.
Ah, very cool,
Yeah,
very cool. Yeah, I think I've seen that before. I mentioned that it kind of looks like the guy from Yakuza, the video game I played.
yeah. Never heard of that game, but yeah, he could be him. Yeah, I don't know what it is. He got it from Thailand a couple
Very
years
cool,
back.
very cool, very cool. Would you ever consider getting tattoos like that? You have no tattoos, eh?
No, I don't like tattoos. I admit, I shouldn't say I don't like them. I don't like needle on my body. So, but no, tattoos aren't for me. But there's nothing wrong with them. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, fair enough, man. All right, so here we are. We're a couple weeks removed from WrestleMania. Things are kind of settling down. We're leading up to Backlash. I mean, the show last night, I thought it was okay. I know you don't think it was that great per se, but hey, I
No.
mean, it's just a show. It's a show. It's just, I mean, not everyone's going to be a grand slam or a knockout, but I mean, that's why we watch the shows, right? Why don't we get into it, man? Monday Night Raw, very simply put, Rhea comes out, she relinquishes the title. She actually suffered a serious injury. Apparently, I don't know what it is per se. She must have torn something. They're pretty hush about it, but I mean, her arms in
Well,
a
that's what they're
sling.
saying. But they're saying that she's pregnant. Some people are
But
saying she's pregnant. So who knows? They're making her and Buddy Matthews making all those sexual jokes online and stuff. I'm on top. You're on top. So the internet wrestling community is saying she's pregnant. WWE's saying she got hurt. We don't know the story. We'll see how long she's out to determine if she is pregnant. If she's pregnant, you can't wrestle. So I don't know. That's what they're saying.
well, I mean, they're showing the sling. She could be pregnant. I guess we'll know in a couple months once she gets around,
Yeah.
if that's the case. And if she is pregnant, congratulations to her, man. I mean, at some point, I guess some of these ladies, I think that's the one thing about for the females in the wrestling industry or in combat sports in general, like they're mothers too, right? So if they want to have kids, they really got
Well, this wasn't planned, right? Obviously, she didn't want to plan it during her title run. If she is pregnant, maybe she is injured. If she's injured, when did she get injured? We don't even know when she got injured.
well, apparently the thing she got injured from the attack from Liv Morgan uh last week, right? So I mean,
Exactly. So she's probably pregnant. So makes the
maybe
most sense to me.
maybe who knows, right? She could have torn something on her own while in that
Yeah.
in that sequence. Who knows, right? The next 3 months will tell us what she's saying. She's gone for a few months. Well, if that's the case, then it's an arm. A few months is not, I mean, it takes 9 months to have a kid, right? I mean, in essence, if she's pregnant, she probably won't be back till maybe Royal Rumble, if that. If
Yeah, we'll find out.
yeah. But how far has the Judgment Day fallen from that point onwards? I mean, after that. All right, so we get the return of Sheamus. Sheamus has been gone a long time, man. I didn't realize he's been gone since August. Like I knew he was gone, but I didn't realize it was this long. Sheamus is usually very cut. He's thick, if you notice that, but he didn't look cut up. Like
No, I think he's probably off the cycle a little bit. Maybe he's getting a little bit older now. Maybe he's laying off the juice a bit.
been around for
Definitely
a
not the
long
old
time.
Sheamus we're used to seeing.
I can't believe, like, if you think about it, this dude's been here for a very, very long
Yeah,
time.
he's had a good career.
I remember seeing him at WrestleMania 26 in Phoenix against Triple H. I mean, that's how far back I remember him, like he's been there for a while. So, I mean, he is a journeyman of the company. But, I mean, a successful return. He comes back, beats up Ivar. I guess, we're just waiting for the Viking Raiders. Eric is still hurt, so Ivar's doing what he can do. And good for him, man. I mean, he's getting the ring time in. Those guys are pretty crazy anyways in general. So I really have always enjoyed the Viking Raiders. So Sheamus was like that. I mean, it wasn't the greatest match in the world. It was hard hitting, but I mean, it was just a return, bring him back into the fold. We get a video package for Chad Gable and Sami Zayn. We are in Montreal tonight, so I mean, here's an opportunity for Sami to get that loss back that he took at Roman Reigns' hand. Look, man, overall, Raw was basically standard. I mean, what more can we say? We got
I was my favorite part about Raw, and I hate was when it was over. Just too much average Joes out there. There was no star power. You know, I get it. They're trying to bring these guys up. Obviously, the best match by far was Chad Gable and Sami Zayn. And when you're watching Chad Gable wrestle, this is a real athlete competing against a guy who's never been an athlete. I'm not saying Sammy is not an athlete. He's not a high caliber athlete like Chad Gable. You see the way Chad moves, his body, the way he flows. And you know, Sammy does good moves, but he's just not on that level. And obviously, hometown got to put him out there. That was the best match. I thought that match released it. I was impressed with that. They worked well together.
No, they work really well.
Good sequences, good moves. It was good.
I'm gonna just go back to what you said about athletes and stuff. Yeah, Chad Gable is an Olympic athlete and whatnot, but I mean, everyone who competes in that ring at any level is an athlete, man. I mean, I mean, wrestling, a lot of people say wrestling is one of the hard, your man, Logan Paul, has said it himself. It's the hardest thing he's ever had to do in athletics. It's harder than boxing.
Oh, it's athletic, but he wouldn't consider him a Sami Zayn's not a high level athlete. Look at the shape he's in. The guy couldn't even lift up 200 pounds. You know what I mean?
No, what I'm saying,
hard on your body.
They're all athletes, right? I mean, they're complete athletes, all of them.
They're athletes
able to move.
Scripted athletes.
But yeah, some of them come from different sports, which make them athletes. But a lot of them say once they enter that ring, it's a completely different story.
It's hard. It's getting thrown hurts, but nobody would consider Sammy a real athlete. Like in the ring, you can consider him an athlete. The guy couldn't lift 200 pounds. He's just a weakling. So that's what I mean by that. Yes, it's dangerous. It's hard on your body. It's talent. It takes talent. Trust me. Getting slammed don't feel good. But you wouldn't consider, oh my God, this guy's a supreme athlete. He's just an average looking dude flipping around.
Well, the one segment I did enjoy was the unveiling of the new tag team titles. That was kind of fun. R-Truth again being R-Truth, and I mean, he just played really, really well. So now they have a number one contender for that title. It's going to be DIY, which should be interesting. I mean, I think we're going to see a bunch of heel changes here, man. I mean, last night we saw a major one with Chad Gable turning heel. I was just waiting for that to fall. Like, I thought either Bronson was going to come out and attack him or it would be Chad, but it makes sense with Chad. Now, here's a thought I had right away. Braun Breaker's coming in as well, right? I'm not sure if he's SmackDown or if he's going to be on Raw. But if he's on Raw, I would love to see him work with. Him and Chad as a unit, man, would be an amazing team. Thoughts?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they'd be amazing. The only thing about Braun Breaker that I don't like is doing that spear stuff. Everybody's doing that spear. It's like the super kick now. Braun Breaker is a great talent. They'd be good. They'd be good together. They can make magic together if they could find the right chemistry.
I think they do. I think they could. I just think the two of them together, I don't know, just something about it. I just saw the singlet, and I'm just thinking, man, these two would work beautifully as a tag team. So the question is, now what happens to Alpha Academy? Because I mean, you got the other three are still kind of faces. Are we going to see something out of AJ Styles where he just tells his crew to, F off, like I'm done? Like, enough of this stupid stuff.
You can already see Alpha Academy is going to split up. You can see Chad's becoming somewhat of a single star. He's just too good of an athlete to stay in a tag team for too long, right? So, this is good for comedy. Good to have him.
Yeah, but just at what point will this happen? Like, will they all turn heel? So that's what I'm kind of curious on. Yeah. I mean, Raw itself was just a show this week. I get it. I mean, we're building up towards these. But the reality of it is, brother, man, like I said, I mean, if we are going to move forward with this product, if we are going to move forward with wrestling, new talent has to come in, right? I mean, we can call this a transitional period. It happens every 5 to 7 years in wrestling, right? I mean, when the Shield came out, when Seth came out, people were probably saying the same things about those guys until they elevated themselves. It's a process, right? I mean, we have to sit through
some of these guys he's trying to elevate. I keep saying the same thing as Johnny Gargano and Ivor. These guys are never going to get over. He knows that. They were let go for a reason. You're bringing them back. Karrion Kross, AOP. These guys were let go for a reason because they couldn't get over. And you're trying to keep bringing them back. They're never going to get over. And they're going for more of an indie feel. When I watch Raw now, if you change the banners, and I look at some of it, and I didn't know what it was. These guys could be AEW caliber, some of these guys, like Gargano and some of these guys. And that's what I feel over the last year or so, is Raw more has an AEW feel. And I get it. They're trying to impress the IWC. They're trying to impress the marks. They're trying to be cool. So let's see how well that translates. Because so far, they haven't got one guy over yet, only LA Knight. Everybody else has not gotten over for the guys that they have brought back. They've all been duds. So how long are they going to realize, hey, this guy ain't over, you got to get rid of him? I don't
Well, I
know.
mean, the cuts are coming pretty soon, so we'll see what happens there as well. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, none of those guys are in major storylines. They're
But
not
why
really.
have them? Why not? Like you said it
Then
best.
what do
Why
you
bring
replace
back
them
the
with
old
then?
guys that aren't over?
What's
Bring
your
up the new guys.
solution then? What's your solution? Who do
Don't
you?
bring them back. Cut the matches down. Make the pay-per-view shorter because you're throwing out AOP and Karrion Kross and Gargano guys. They're for the hardcore fans. Yeah, they love them. The regular guys see that click. When Rock was on was it when he came out last week on Smack on Raw, when he went off the air, 1.5 million people turned off Raw. 1.3 million actually turned it off because it's like, okay, he's out, we're done. This is what I'm saying. It's like I know Rock
But
can't
the
do it all the
reality is,
time.
there's only one or two guys who kind
No,
of
I know, but
command
what
that
I'm saying is when
attention,
you're
right?
using Johnny Gargano and Karrion Kross, people don't care about them. So there's
Okay,
the
so who do
hardcore
you
guys
replace them with?
will write good reviews, but bring up somebody else that's younger. Give them a chance, not the old guys that aren't over. I don't get it. Same with Hit Row. Why
And
bring them back?
and what they're doing as well. I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to find a solution here because we always
Here's the big thing now. We always dump on Tony Khan. He can't create stars. I agree, he can't. But they haven't created any stars yet either. Let's see what they can create. So far, LA Knight's the only guy that they've created that got over. Other than that, they're just using the old guys and trying to push young guys. They haven't got a new star over yet. Let's see what they can do.
all right, let's hope so, man. Because this song's kind of getting old now,
Because
brother.
because I'm seeing we praise Triple H, but he hasn't done any different than Tony Khan. Tony Khan is using his dad's money. Triple H is using his father-in-law's empire. He hasn't built anything. Neither of these guys have built anything. They're cashing in off the old men. Let's see who, going forward, who can create more stars. Right now, neither one of them are. Let's see.
Like I said, we're early into the year.
Yeah.
The wrestling year, anyways. I always say it's April to April. So let's see where we go.
And
man.
I will say one thing is Tony Khan, as geeky as he is, and I always rag on the guy, his ego isn't as big as Triple H's ego. The last 4 shows, we see Triple H come out. He came out in WrestleMania. Steph came out in WrestleMania. Now he's coming out on Raw, giving notes. He's trying to put himself over, saying, guys, look at me, acknowledge me. Look what I'm doing, guys. I'm the cool guy. Please look at me. But Tony Khan at least isn't out there trying to do that. I didn't think all the belts were cool. I didn't think Triple H needed to come out there and even do
Tony
that.
Khan does that as well, but his announcements are all stupid.
Yeah, I know. I'm
we're
not
going to be in Boston.
But he's not trying to get the praise that Triple H is coming out there. Like, hey, come on, guys, cheer for my wife, cheer for me. Like he keeps trying to put himself over. And I go back to what people like Bret Hart said about the guy, and I always defend him. Now I'm seeing what they were saying about Triple H, and wait a minute, this guy is quite an egomaniac.
I'll disagree with you, bro. I don't think that's the case at all. But I mean, we're all entitled to the opinion.
If I got to criticize Tony Khan, I got to be fair and call a ball, a strike, a strike. When I see Triple H, and I love the guy as a wrestler, as far as an executive, yeah, he kind of rubbed me the wrong way with his arrogant attitude because he got handed a spot through nepotism. He didn't earn it. He didn't deserve it.
That spot then?
What? I don't know. Anybody else, Bruce Pritchard, anybody. It's not like Vince said, hey, Triple H, you're the smartest guy in the room. I want you. Oh, you married my daughter? Okay, yeah, I'll bring you up. That's what happened, right? And that's not Triple H's fault.
But do we have proof of that? That's how it happened.
But he got it through nepotism.
But is that proof?
Well, he married Steph and got promoted, so yeah.
But yeah, but that's just hearsay. Like, what he could have married Stephanie and nothing could have happened. Then what? Like, well, I mean,
but that's not. But Vince kept it. Vince kept the family. He did it for his daughter. They gave my husband a gig, kind of thing, right? Well, and that's the thing is like, so we always are praising Triple H, but yet what stars has he created? None. Same amount Tony Khan's created, none. As far as I see it, very even right now. Yes, WWE's more ratings, is a better show, but he's got the All-Star team. Tony Khan's got the D-League guys. So switch and see what happens. So let's see going forward who can make more stars, and we'll find out.
I think it's more than just making stars. I think it's production. I think, with AEW anyways, they need to improve on their production. They need
that's what I mean. Vince put everything in place. No, they haven't done anything. This is all Vince's. It's like Vince built a mansion here to live in my house. Let's see them build it, what they're going to do, and who can they create, and what path they will go forward creating. So far, I don't like what I'm seeing personally. I find WWE now is this marketing for the hardcores, the real hardcore, the New Japan guys, the hardcore guys. The average guy, they don't like these guys, they turn the channel.
Okay, but there's only 4 or 5 guys that can command the. I keep saying this to you, man.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So bring up a guy like a Braun Breaker. Bring up a guy when you put out little guys all the time, and they can flip around great with no charisma. People turn it off. So bring up Braun. Bring up Braun Smith. Let the big guys go. Not everybody has to be Johnny Gargano and Ciampa and all those guys. Let the young guys come up and let them go. and see
Well,
what happens.
which
That's what I'm
they
saying.
are. I mean, we do have Braun up there now. We have a couple more guys coming up the
Yep.
line. Let's see, man. Let's see. I mean, I think
Yeah, I'm saying I just want to see what stars they can
yeah,
create and see what they can do.
yeah. All right. So Linda McMahon might be coming back to the Fed. Apparently, they Ari's kind of high on her. She's not doing her political stuff anymore. They want to kind of bring her back into the fold because of her expertise. Your thoughts on that? Do you think they should or should leave her alone?
No, it's fine. Why not? I mean, her husband built this empire that everybody's feeding off of. So if she wants to come back, she doesn't do much. Give some consulting. She's a smart business lady. She's worked for president before. She's a business lady, small businesses, so she knows how to make a business. So
Well,
yeah,
I
why
mean,
not?
if you think about it, she ran everything during the Attitude Era, right? Everything behind the stage,
Yeah,
everything.
no, she's a good lady and she's smart and yeah, why not? She
Do you
wants to
think
do
it's
it.
a
She's
shot
getting
at
older now,
Vince
but
though, bringing
sure.
back the wife?
What's that?
You think it's a shot at Vince bringing back the wife?
No, I don't think so. I mean, she's just good at what she does. Ari and Vince are still buddies. She's good at what she does, so why not? Makes sense, right? Get somebody from that has a different perspective. Some could add a little, flavor to some of the old way. It's not a shot at Vince. They're still buddies.
All right, cool.
Vince wouldn't have sold it Ari if he didn't like him.
Fair play. Civil War, the WWE. Do you see it happening?
No.
Or do you even know what I'm talking about?
You talking about between the McMahons and the Ari guys?
No. It's a story wrestling line that I kind of see formulating. So I haven't shared this with you at all.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I saw on Friday night. So let's go back to Friday night SmackDown when the Bloodline came out. I told you that Tama Tonga was coming back. He is the son of what's his name? Aku.
Which is funny because he's not even Samoan. They're trying to pass him off to Samoan. That's wrestling for you.
Well, I mean, they're all family related. They've all known each other forever, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just one of those things. But regardless, wouldn't be surprised if they are related, like triple, fourth cousin down the line somewhere. But long story short, Tama Tonga comes out, and if anyone hasn't seen it, they beat the shit out of Jimmy.
Yeah.
Solo comes out, gives him the hug, says to him, I love you, I love you. Even Paul Heyman doesn't even know what's going on. So this is the Solo show. And they beat up Jimmy, they get rid of him, and they said these were the orders of the tribal chief. When Paul goes to call Roman, Solo takes the phone and breaks it. So this is why I'm asking you, do you think, are we on the verge of this next phase of the Bloodline story becoming a Civil War type of deal here, where The Rock, Solo, Tama, and maybe one other guy are going to join forces against the Usos?
Could be. Yeah.
Can be honest back in the summer, which would open up the door for that match with Roman and The Rock. I don't know.
If the crowd lets them, who knows? They might get scared and read some hashtags and call that match off. Yeah, you could be right. I think you're onto something there. I'm telling you guys right now, next year Hall of Fame, Haku will be in the Hall of Fame because his kid's there. Now that everybody's saying Haku's kid is going to bring attention to some of the stuff Haku did, they will throw him in next year, guaranteed.
Tonga looks good, man. I mean, the little
that
I saw him. I mean, if you guys really want to watch this guy, go back to his New Japan stuff. Most of his career was in Japan.
Looks good.
He looks good. I like his look. He's cut. He's fresh. I mean, it's different from, I mean, he's got more of the Roman physique, right? I mean, he's a smaller guy, but it was good. That's good. I can't wait to see how the story unfolds. AEW, we did get that footage released from Tony Khan with the backstage incident. I expected more from it personally. Yeah, I mean, the Young Bucks using it more for their storyline advancement and whatnot. I mean, it was what it was. A lot of people are saying they shouldn't have shown the footage because it really did nothing for them. If anything else, it kind of made them look silly. That I'm just reading this off the internet.
That's what 90% of people have been saying, yeah.
Right. I mean, it could have been done better. I feel like it was just a wasted segment. But the reality is it got everyone to tune in. Now, in my opinion, I think that segment should have been the closing so people stay on the show. To show it at the top of the second hour, in my opinion, you should have just saved that for your closure.
Yeah.
Should have come out to the ring, shown the footage. FTR should have come down and attacked them at that point, opposed to FTR coming out after the announcement. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt that it could have been booked better.
Yeah, a couple things I take away. Now you're right. 90% of people are saying this is stupid. Shouldn't have shown it. couple things here. One, it validates what CM Punk said. Exactly how it happened. It happened. So CM Punk was telling the truth, which looks good on CM Punk. The thing is, I'm in the 10% minority that thinks it was a good idea. Why? Because it shows Tony Khan has a little bit of a backbone now. He's getting sick and tired of CM Punk and Triple H and these guys smack talking him. So the big bully ain't Vince. The big bully ain't there anymore. Now he's just playing with the schoolyard kids. You know, the little Tony Khan was a little more on the same level. I'm not dealing with this larger than life character. So Tony Khan said, you know what, screw you guys. I'm going to put it out there. We're saying this. You're saying this. Let everybody watch it and see. You're right. They didn't book it well. The best part about this whole thing is Mr. No Character, Mr. No Charisma, great athlete, great in the ring, Will Ospreay. He's got some backbone now. He's coming out there saying, you know what, Triple H? You got nothing but marrying Steph, which I always say, which is true, but it's showing that AEW won't be stepped on anymore. We're not going to be the laughing stock. You guys aren't going to push us around and slap us around. We'll slap you back. Even if we lose the fight, we're going to fight back. So Tony Khan is getting a little bit of balls, so to speak, and Will Ospreay is becoming a man, so to speak, and saying, screw you, Triple H. Who are you to say that to me? Obviously, I know Triple H is a way better career, but you get my point. They're fighting back, getting a little bit of gusto because they're getting stomped on.
Well,
so good for them.
No, fair enough. I'm glad that
even though the footage was lackluster, at least he's saying, shut your mouth, CM Punk. I'll put it out there. CM Punk told everything he said 100% accurate. But at least Tony Khan has a mean bone in his body. And now all the marks are saying, oh, Tony made Will say it. Will said, no, I wanted him to say that. I wanted to come at Triple H. We're getting sick and tired of this guy. He's an egomaniac.
Yeah, well,
and, so good for them.
But here's the thing, man. I mean, for the longest time, AEW kept taking shots at WWE. Yeah. They didn't say nothing.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Vinny told him not to. Now Vinny ain't there. Now it's on.
Right. So I mean,
Vinny's thing was Vinny never punches down. He didn't need to punch down. Only when WCW was beating him, he punched back. Vinny never needed to punch at AEW. But now, as I'm saying, Kevin O'Leary says it best. The children are playing dress up. There's no adults in the room now. There's no alpha mega authority saying, hey, don't say that, don't do that. Now it's like, oh, we'll make fun of each other. And the war is on, and it's good because it gets everybody talking. You know what I mean? And I see it both ways. CM Punk was truthful. The video was lackluster. It was kind of a dull segment, but it shows that Tony finally, somebody's told him, maybe his dad, fight back, dude. They keep smacking you on the playground. Be a man.
Yeah.
So good for him.
The other thing is he keeps saying Triple H, but how much is he being held back, or how much is he being told by Ari and his team? I mean, we don't know that, right? Like, I mean, there might be things where Triple H is saying, you know, like, no, we don't need to do this, but I was like, no, we have to, you know.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
I mean, we don't have that.
But he started it by mouthing off at Ospreay, right? So good for Ospreay for firing back. And you know what? At the end of the day, he never gets into WWE. He will.
I really admire Will Ospreay. I really love his talent. I think he's great in the ring. You know, it just took him a little while to get to the dance, and I think that's what the comment is. It's like you're not willing to put that work in. I mean, if you want to be a megastar, you come over here, but you don't want to put that work in, right? House shows, this and that. If you look at most of the talent that goes to AEW, you look at the retirement crew. Christian, Edge, Show, these guys.
Oh, it's a way later schedule, absolutely.
Right. They're all making amazing. They would never make that money doing that amount of work in WWE, right? I mean,
I'll tell you right now, the way Christian before is Vince would never put that guy out there performing like that.
No. I get that, but what I'm saying is being able to go over there and work such a reduced schedule for a huge amount of money, you're sacrificing building your name, in my opinion. It'd be a different story if AEW was a viable product. It is a viable product. Don't get me wrong. It is number 2. It's a great, competition thing. It's like you said, we can measure now, right?
Yeah.
So we got that back a little bit, right? But I just feel that at the end of the day, that a lot of those guys who have the opportunity to go to the juggernaut don't want to put the work in once they get there. That's what I personally feel. And I don't.
I agree with that. Yeah, it's like if you're in the CFL, you go to NFL.
I don't have anyone quoting that. I don't have anyone saying that's the case. But I feel, based on what I've heard from Daniel O'Brien, from guys like Steven Regal, who, like I said, we've talked about this. They set up workshops for these younger talents to come to. No one shows up. Nobody.
Well, because the new millennials look at it. These old men don't know what they're talking about.
Well, but that's what I'm saying, right? But I mean, wrestling doesn't change. You can change. The generation can change, but what happens in that ring, the art form itself, is forever. I mean, you can add new moves as bodies get more limber and as humans are able to push their bodies to different things. Guys in the 60s couldn't do what the guys in the 70s could do. 70s couldn't do what the 80 guys could do. Right. And then we get to the 90s and we're like, oh, Rey Mysterio, and he set the standard. I mean, you got to have guys come in who set that standard for that next generation. So it's like Tiger Woods, right? Everyone was shit at golf until Tiger came. But when all those young kids who love Tiger started playing, they all caught up to him. I mean, Tiger had the worst day ever. He shot the worst at.
Oh, he's finished. He's never gonna win again. Yeah.
Right. But what I'm just saying in general, just like, you know, like these guys come up. It was the Attitude Era that pushed local guys, Scotty Mack, this and that, to want to be this, right? To elevate themselves. No one, you know, jumping off the top rope or going over the top rope was unheard of in the 80s. You never saw it.
Not really, no.
In fact, I remember as a kid in AWA, anyone out there listening, correct me if you're wrong, if you threw someone over the top rope, it was an instant disqualification.
It was, yeah.
Right? Now it's happening.
Well, there's some guys been doing it. Macho and Steamboat were doing it a little bit. But yeah, it wasn't too many guys.
It wasn't until the Royal Rumble where a whole match was based around throwing people over the top rope. I mean, we're just in a different generation of wrestling. Like, I get what you're saying and I understand it, right? And I know you're not coming from a bad place when you're.
But the thing is, that half the fans have left. That's the problem. That how do you get these guys?
Dude, all the fans left after the Attitude Era. And that's the reality of it. No, like if you think about it, all the fans that left are our age.
No, but they're not getting new fans. Like when I'm in the boxing, when I'm in the schools, you don't see anybody talking about it. It's kind of corny. It's cheesy. That's the problem. It's not cool no
more. No, and I get that completely. But we have to throw in the advent of the internet. We have to throw in the, you know, like, I mean, yeah,
I know, but here's the thing: when you're looking, I hate to keep picking on this guy, but they use him so much. When you look at a guy like Johnny Gargano, okay, and you're a high school kid, he's not a cool looking dude. He's not a great athlete. He's not built. He's not cool. But so that's the thing. So kids are like, he's kind of geeky. I could beat this guy up. Now I'll watch UFC or I'll watch football.
I think a lot of the guys.
Football's gotten more popular.
Okay,
wrestling hasn't.
Right. But here's the thing, man. I mean, honestly, when we came into the wrestling, okay, our generations, that majority have left. Okay, you want to talk about the people who have left watching wrestling?
Of course they have.
It's those guys. And yes, they're not bringing in, you know, the numbers aren't translating back up because UFC's real. Okay, UFC took a chunk out of boxing. UFC took a chunk out of wrestling. Hold on.
You gotta have big athletes that are cool.
Wait. All I'm saying is, and then throwing kayfabe away. I think that curtain call was perhaps one of the worst things that could have ever happened to wrestling because it took the curtain away from everything. It opened it up to everyone. So you get these young kids now. What do you want to watch? You want to watch, you know, Conor McGregor, or do you want to watch fake wrestling? I hate to say it that way, but this is the way they're thinking, right? Most young blood wants to go to the real stuff. They look at wrestling and go, oh, this is this. The internet didn't help wrestling. You know, internet helped wrestling, but it also hurt wrestling. Right.
And that's why you got to try to create. WWE is best when you see guys larger than life superstars. It doesn't have to be as big as Hulk Hogan, but cool guys, even Shawn Michaels, even Triple H. These guys look like stars. And when you're throwing out carrying crosses and guys like that, it's like, what the heck? Click.
Well,
that's the problem. There's too many of those kind of guys. Jim Cornette said it best.
The geeks
have invaded wrestling. The guys that should be in the crowd are in the ring now, and that's why it's what's killing it.
Well, because they're all in the independents too, though, right? That's the thing. I mean, most of those guys are all there in the independents anyways. And that's what's being brought up. But I think that's why WWE is trying to do it differently by recruiting bigger guys, this and that.
It's like, you know, you go to a concert and you see Mick Jagger. Oh my God, this is amazing. And then you go down the street and you see Bob Smith. Oh, that's okay, but I don't really care about it. It's the same thing here. I know everybody can't be a larger than life star, but when you've got average Joes out there who wrestling average and talk average, the average guy watches like, no, not interested. That's the thing. The more the stars, the more the larger than life guys, the more ratings you get.
Yeah,
and the problem. And AEW, all indie looking dudes, they don't get nobody. 800,000 people. American Pickers draws a better rating than AEW. American Pickers. The WNBA has been drawing because of Caitlin Clark bigger numbers than Raw and AEW.
Yeah,
who would ever have guessed?
Yeah, no doubt, man. And we missed a draft yesterday. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I get it.
Look,
You can only work with what you got, but
I just
there'll
think
be a
I
new
just think
talent that comes along that'll be popular with the young kids again. I don't know who it'll be, but one day somebody will catch lightning in a bottle, and all the high schools. Did you watch Raw? Did you watch AEW? This guy's amazing. It will happen. It always does. Just a
it
matter of
comes in
when.
ebbs and flows, right? Like I said, it's like
Hopefully.
you're like, okay, you're a Seahawks fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Steelers fan. I mean, we're both hurting right now, right? In terms because it just comes in ebbs and flows. I mean, Washington Capitals 2 years ago, Stanley Cup champions, not even sniffing the playoffs right now. Just these rebuilds happen. It has happened
No,
so
they're
much.
getting in. They're playing Rangers.
Oh, they're getting it. Okay,
They're
but
in the
you know what I
first game.
mean, though, right?
Yeah,
Like
I
I
know what you're
mean,
saying.
but it's just wrestling is ebbs and flows. I mean, after the Attitude Era, after Vince bought WCW, everyone thought this was the end of wrestling. Then
Mm-hmm.
Cena emerges and gives us another 10 years, and then Roman. I mean, at first he was pushed on us, but when he was actually able to be himself, now everyone's thanking him.
Yep.
Sort of a
Same thing
deal,
with Cena. They hated John Cena at first. Now they
right?
love him.
Right. So I mean, it's just ebbs and flows, man. We just got to be patient. But like I said, I mean, if you want to watch NXT, there's a few guys down there that if they
That's
do,
another thing. Thanks for bringing that. They're thinking about they might scrap NXT. Eh?
pardon?
They're thinking about possibly scrapping NXT.
Okay, I haven't heard that one yet.
Well,
Tell
just
me more.
because it's extra cost. Do they really need a development? Because they're scaling back on the production. Here's another thing I don't like. They're scaling back on the productions. You don't get the big jumbotron. You don't get all the cool stuff. Well, now their set is looking more like an AEW set. You know what I mean? I
Oh no,
get they
no,
want
no.
to put a few more thousand people in there, but it doesn't
They
have that larger than life feel.
no. The screen was back on Monday.
Was it back?
Yeah, it was
I didn't
only for
notice it.
that Philly show.
Okay, because like the thing about WWE that separates them from the indies and TNA and AEW is the larger than life sets. You usually want to strip it down a little bit and
Yeah.
put more people in. It doesn't have that amazing
No, no,
feeling.
no, no. They that was a one-off for that show because they were still in Philly and they wanted to fill up that back just for that experience.
Yeah, because WWE is known for amazing graphics and video
No, no.
display.
Last night's set was full again. It was big again, right? It was just that one-off. I think it was because the WrestleMania crowd was still in town. You had all the international people, so they wanted to fit as many as they could for that. That could be something we see.
If WWE gets away from I know they're calling it pro wrestling now and not sports and everything. They get away from that entertainment, larger than life, cool pyro, superstars, musicians, athletes, all that. So they start getting away from that and try to go more that indie route, they're gonna lose a ton of fans.
Yeah,
WWE is larger than life. I'm not saying they
think,
are, but if they start doing that, you'll see people leave.
I'm very confident in my brain that won't happen. I mean, this is what they're based on. This is their legacy. If it wasn't for rock and roll, if it wasn't for Cyndi Lauper, I hate, hey, say what you want to say. If that whole rock and wrestling thing didn't happen, I mean, everything happened at the right time and they've built off of that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't per se see that being a case at all. But yeah, I mean, look, we're under a different regime. We got a different
That's what
guy
I mean.
running the
And I
show.
think they're going more
Vince,
toward that indie, less is more kind of stripped down feel. They're
what
kind of
was
going
the
more of the Pearl Jam route and stand there and don't move, and it's cool not to be cool. Where the other guys are like, let's blow up some pyros, let's raise the drums in the crowd, let's make this a spectacle. And if they get away from that, they're going to come to AEW level. Hopefully not. We'll find out.
Let's wait for the next few months. I mean, now everyone's kind of in there now, right? We know who the teams are. We know who's who. Vince is pretty much out of there now. He's selling off the last of his stock. Like he's really come to the point where now he's.
Well, what's the point of keeping it? There's no point.
Well, no, but then that way he's got no voice at all, right? I mean, now we're.
Yeah, well, he hasn't for a bit here.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, look, reality of it is, we're just going through some changes, and we just.
I would just love to have some of these dirt sheet writers on that were telling us a few years ago. In a few years, Vince will give the company to Stephanie and Triple H. It's like, no, why would you get?
Yeah, but that's what these guys do. Think about it.
No, I know, but they were like, these guys have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yeah, and
they were saying, I debated them many times. They were telling us Triple H deserved to take his father-in-law's company. He doesn't even have $100 million.
I would love to try to get some of those guys on, right? But see, that's the reality of it, man. I mean, people are taking, like, we want to talk about fake news. I mean, fucking, that's the worst wrestling fake news there is around, right? I mean, those guys sit there making bullshit up, you know, and
Vince,
then
and another thing, Vince has a non-compete clause, so he can't do anything. I don't think he will anyways, but he can't do anything wrestling wise till January 2025. There's a 1 year non-compete clause in the contract. So,
yeah,
and he's
yeah.
not going to make another wrestling company. What's he going to try to do? Build a company at 79 by then to destroy
I
the
think the
company created? What's
coolest
the
thing, I think the coolest thing that could happen, and I mean, just it'd be so funny to see if Vince showed up on on Dynamite.
the thing with that is like it would be cool, but these guys they don't, like you said, they don't want to work, they don't want to listen. So he'd clean
No,
house, but 90% of those talent would be out.
right. But what I'm saying is, if Vince showed up, this would be for me.
Well, it'd be amazing,
Like,
huge.
look. Ultimately, if you think about it, if there's Mount Rushmore, right
Mm-hmm.
above Mount Rushmore, if
It's
there's a
Vince.
mountain behind it, it'd be Vince alone.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I know this. Look, you
Oh
and
yeah.
I doing this, you and I meeting, having a podcast, and talking about wrestling. It's all because of Vince. I'll
Mm-hmm.
never forget that fact. But I'm also aware of the evolution of the sport and the direction it has to go in. We have to take all the factors in, right? I mean, when we were little kids, I mean, there was no internet, there was nothing, so we didn't know the difference from anything, right? I
But
mean,
thanks for bringing that
let
up.
me
Vince
ask
doesn't
you a
get
question.
credit. He brought the
But
women's division out. He did the Netflix. All this stuff is all from Vince. He's only been gone a couple months.
let me ask you honestly, and I don't think I've ever asked you this. When did you finally become smart to wrestling?
I can't remember, man. Now, honestly, when I was like 8 or 9, maybe 10, something like that.
Right. So same here. So if you think about it, most kids who grew up watching wrestling before the advent of everything, before the curtain call, we all had a moment there when we were like, oh wow, this is real.
Yeah.
Right. Guys work different then. I mean, a lot of the veteran guys, maybe they're bitter or not, but they're not wrong. And when they say that the work was better, the storylines were better, the storytelling was better because they put so much into it. But now, you know, back in the days, bad guys stayed on one bus, good guys stayed in another bus. They could
Well,
never go to the same bars. It was all that kayfabe, and that's the way they did it. Whereas
another problem
now,
with wrestling is that there's more shows, there's more pay-per-views, so we've let in more talent that shouldn't be on the shows. An example: when you expand an NHL, NBA, MLB, whatever sport, MLS, you let in more players that shouldn't be in the league because you're watering it down when you expand. So when Vince started with Raw and SmackDown, the more pay-per-views, he's letting in talent that never would have been even sniffing the big leagues, but you've got to fill the roster. So you let your guard down, let a couple guys that probably shouldn't be out there, and
yeah,
it waters it down.
no, but
And that's
again,
on
at
Vinny
that
for that.
point, then it becomes we're making money now. We need to put more
Mm-hmm.
out there for money. In a perfect world, Raw should only be 2 hours. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Raw should be 2 hours. SmackDown should be 2 hours. There should only be the big four and maybe three in between that.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
That's, in my opinion, that's the way it should be. But how much money are they leaving on the
Yeah,
table?
I get it. I get it. I don't blame
Like,
them.
it's like the NHL saying, okay, we want to go to a bigger ice surface because the hockey will be better, right? But that means we have to eliminate the first 2 rows at the
Yeah,
bottom.
it's
No,
not
we can't do
happening.
that because,
Yeah,
right? So same thing, man. All
yeah,
right,
I agree.
I tell you what, we've been going back and forth. I really enjoyed this conversation today. So Rhea Ripley, she's given up the title. I don't know. I mean,
Maybe she's hurt. Maybe she's pregnant. We don't know. We'll find out.
we'll find out. But the question is, what do they do with that title now? Is it going to go to Liv Morgan or do you put it on Nia?
They'll have some sort of tournament or something. Figure all that out.
So they got to figure
I
that.
give it to Naya. Give it to the big bruiser. Kick all your butts. You let the big lady have a chance and show what a dominant enforcer can do.
I think the best storyline, because that's unfinished business. Nia wins the title. You know, she has a pretty solid feud with Liv. You know, I mean, you know, Liv can take a beating. She's kind of one of those kind of girls where she keeps pushing back, right? So I mean, that's a great little thing there. But if they play this right, if they write it right, if they do it right, it should work and coincide with Rhea coming back as a face to take out the big bad Nia Jax.
Yeah, could be good.
You know, that's the way I kind of see it. I think the SmackDown women's side, I think we have a story brewing between Bianca and Jade Cargill. Once Jade's up to speed, she can perform a bit better. She can work. This is good for her. She's with some good talent that's going to
Mm-hmm.
build her up. But I really feel that, you know, maybe SummerSlam, maybe Royal Rumble, maybe WrestleMania. I think that Jade and Bianca feud's going to heat up pretty soon here too.
Yeah, they'll
So
cross paths.
it's pretty good. I think things are pretty good in that side of it. All right, brother man, that's it. We have Dynamite coming up tomorrow. SmackDown on Friday, and we will be back on Tuesday to talk about it all. I am actually interested in the Swerve and Samoa Joe feud. I am enjoying it. It is interesting. It is fun. It's probably the best thing on AEW, in my opinion, in storylines right now. So
I just hope Tony Khan takes this little bit of shine Will Ospreay's getting, kind of being mouth and back, and kind of really, really pump him up. You got a little bit of juice now. Give him a little bit of, I don't know, push him a little more, make him be the bad guy, make him start mouthing off, make him be the anti-WWE guy. Why not run with an angle? Why not get some more viewers? Do something with it. Don't let this die off, and then it was a waste.
I don't think you do it as a heel. I agree with that completely. I think he'd be more of the antagonist face.
Yeah, something with them. Because if Tony Khan doesn't capitalize on him mouthing off Triple H, then it's a wasted segment. It's a wasted moment. You drop the ball again, just like when Vinnie Mac screwed over Brett. Hey, I'm going to be an asshole. And run with it. Run with it, Tony.
Yeah, well, let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. Like, what I would like to see them do a package of Will making those comments. You know what I mean? And if they do that, then we know they're trying to build off of that. If nothing is said, if nothing is mentioned this Wednesday, then we know that they don't.
I got a bad feeling Tony Khan's gonna get scared and back down. I hope he keeps the fight up.
Well, let's see what they do, brother man. All right, brother. This has been amazing. This has woken me up. Tuesday is beautiful. Thank you so much, my man. And let's call it a quits here. So I am Bobby Sampson. He is Mr. Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great ACDC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. And guys, no matter what you guys want to achieve in life, if anyone is telling you different, it's because they're jealous of you and they're afraid to do what you're willing to do. So never lose faith, never stop grinding, never stop working hard. The day you do, you become one of them, and we don't want you to do that. Samp and Chance, have a great week. We're out.